They want to have full control over that interaction that we have with each other in society. That's what it comes down to. Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Short video, ladies and gentlemen. This is just something that we need to talk about and people need to be made aware of. So do you remember Event 201? If you don't, just type it in, Event 201, and go DuckDuckGo. And it'll show you that there was a simulation of a bug crisis going on in the year 2019, October 18th. And then what happened just a few months after that? The mess that we find ourselves in now, ladies and gentlemen, with this health crisis began. So now we have the IMF and World Bank, along with about 10 other countries, who are holding simulations of a global financial system collapse. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, that these people, they play games with us. They let us know what's going on, but you have to read in between the lines. People were talking about Event 201 back in 2019, but not many people were listening. And this here is something that not only myself, but renowned economists have been talking about, that there is going to be a financial collapse like no other. I see a worldwide financial or economic collapse, whatever you want to call it, as something that is very viable and as a tool that the state will use in order to control us even further. IMF, World Bank, and 10 countries held alarming simulation of global financial system collapse. Earlier this month, Reuters produced a report which didn't receive nearly enough attention among the American public. Everything that you hear is about this health crisis going on, or the other variations of this health crisis, and how this song of a health crisis is never going to end. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that think that this health crisis is going to end, think about the trillions of dollars that companies are making off of this very health crisis, off of the policies that are being enacted by governments due to this supposed health crisis. Do you think they're going to give up those trillions of dollars very easily? Why do you think that we are almost always in some kind of a state of war? In the United States, we've been at war more than not since the birth of the United States. Why do you think that we're always at some kind of a state of war or heading towards war? It's because the military-industrial complex has to stay rich. They have to keep raping the American public via taxes. So we have to have war. Now this health crisis is now a $1 trillion industry. Do you think they're going to let that go very easily? They continue to say that its content would be sure to alarm most people concerned with the outbreak of yet more global catastrophes. At the very least, it's curious timing. Powerful nations and banking institutions decided to get together to run a global economic collapse scenario. Now why, ladies and gentlemen, if everything is going so well, as you hear said by the mainstream pundits and by politicians in the White House, if things are going so well, why are they running a scenario as to what would occur if there was a worldwide economic collapse? I just wonder. The report described that Israel led a 10-country simulation of a major cyber attack on the global financial system in an attempt to increase cooperation that could help to minimize any potential damage to financial markets and banks. It was centered on a catastrophic scenario in which hackers were 10 steps ahead of us, according to one official who took part. Dubbed Collective Strength, the exercise was held in Jerusalem after being moved from the original proposed location of Dubai, and included the participation of also the United States, UK, UAE, Austria, Switzerland, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, and Thailand. Officials from the International Monetary Fund, or the IMF, the World Bank, and Bank of International Settlements, BIS, were also involved. The financial geopolitical gaming situation was set amid a scenario where sensitive data was leaked on the dark web, resulting in the collapse of global markets and an ensuing run on the banks. Further, the simulation envisioned a series of devastating hacks targeting global foreign exchange systems, which also disrupted transactions between importers and exporters, according to Reuters. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what have we talked about here for months, if not for over a year now? Make sure that you get out of the system as much as you can. That's what prepping is about. Prepping is about having a backup to all of those infrastructures that you depend on. And one of those infrastructures that you depend on is also the banking system. If the financial system goes down, who is it that it hurts the most? You have to ask yourself this question. If the financial system goes down, who does it hurt the most? Ladies and gentlemen, it's those in power that it hurts the most. Because those in power, ladies and gentlemen, are the richest. They're the ones that have the most money. So if money were to disappear tomorrow, do you think it'll hurt a homeless person living under the bridge more than what it would hurt a suburbanite? No, it would hurt a suburbanite more, because that homeless person is going to be living the same way he or she was living anyways. And then take it a step further. If the money system were to go down tomorrow, do you think it would change the suburbanite more or the billionaire more? And that's what they're afraid of. In my opinion, of course. So an economic collapse is going to hurt those at the very top a lot more than those in the middle or at the bottom. They are afraid, ladies and gentlemen. And this is why they have to put all the pieces together now. That way they can try to frighten and scare the public and hopefully be able to control them when they go through with this, and then put through a new system that would make them even stronger. The simulation set out a severe crisis period lasting about a week and a half. Events were guided by a film and narrator which related to the fast-moving live events. These events are creating havoc in the financial market, said a narrator of the film. The banks are appealing for emergency liquidity assistance in a multitude of currencies to put a halt to the chaos as counterparties withdraw their funds and limit access to liquidity, leaving the banks in disarray and ruin, the narrator said. The participants discuss multilateral policies to respond to the crisis, including a coordinated bank holiday. Have you heard that word before, ladies and gentlemen? Bank holiday? It's where they shut down the banks and you can't get to your supposed money. Because believe me when I tell you, whatever money you have in the bank, you think you have in the bank. And whatever money you think you have in the bank, you think it's yours, it's not really yours. As soon as you deposit that money in the bank, you just became a creditor to that banking institution. And they don't have to give you your money back if they don't want to. They do because they don't want to create havoc and create run on banks. They continue to say, ostensibly, what was a successful 10-day exercise was aimed toward each country being prepared to contain the global damage coming from some kind of a major cyber event or threat. And we can go back to that cyber event that we're supposed to be having that was touted by the World Economic Forum. Remember, I forget the name of the guy, Schwab or something like that, or Schwals or something like that. But he said that one of our major threats is a cyber event, right? A major cyber event. And here they're talking about it again. Ladies and gentlemen, I implore you to get prepared if you're not prepared, right? I know this is the holiday season, Christmas season. Christmas is right around the corner, right? My favorite time of the year. But I feel compelled to put out these videos, especially when they become available, when the news becomes available. Because, ladies and gentlemen, usually by the time that we see something like this, it's already in action. The players behind the scenes are already planning it out. Event 201 happened in October of 2019. What happened in February, March of 2020? We all know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now they're talking about a cyber attack on the world economic system. So just protect yourselves. And this to me confirms that we are closer to that economic catastrophe than what I thought we were. I think that they are going to try to implode the financial system in order to have more control over what we can and cannot buy. Ladies and gentlemen, money is everything. And I don't mean that literally. But what I mean by that is that in society, as we know it today, you need money in order to interact with others as far as being able to get those things that you need to live the standard of living that you live today. Because a builder cannot go and build a shed for a convenience store so that he can get a gallon of milk. We need something that we can interact with back and forth. When you think about money, think about a conversation. When you give someone a $5 bill for a loaf of bread, you just had a conversation. You said, yes, I'll take this loaf of bread, and you can have the $5 bill that I had to work 12 minutes for, or however long of labor you had to give for that $5 bill. It's a conversation. It's an interaction. Right? Without that interaction, it would become very difficult for us to be able to exchange goods and services. And what they want to do, ladies and gentlemen, our overlords, the ones that want to rule us, they want to have full control over that interaction that we have with each other in society. That's what it comes down to. Having said that, I hope you have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, have a great Christmas Eve tomorrow, and also have a very great and wonderful Christmas the day after. I hope you all stay safe. I hope you're all spending some time with your family, and I just hope that you have a great time. All right. God bless every single one of you. Remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out.